beautiful people, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marie Claire, and if this is your first time, please make yourself comfortable. And on this channel we talk about everything sickle cell. Yes, you heard me right, girl, boy, everything sickle cell. So I was born with sickle cell disease. I live with sickle cell disease, and I talk about my challenges, and most importantly I talk about all the positive things, despite the challenges. And I want us to make the most out of our lives despite our challenges. Yes, I know there's always challenges, but I tell you what, I want to live my best life, regardless. I want to make the most out of it, because we've only got one life, haven't we? We only got one life. So yeah, make the most out of it. So we're just keeping it cool. I have got my cup of tea here. There's not makeup, no. One of those days where I just could not be bothered. Woke up this morning, it's just a bit of a lazy day. Took the kids to school, did my school runs, came back, sent a few emails, and you know what? I said, nah, today's not it. Just chill. And that's okay. If you have one of those days where you think, you just want to chill, because you've only got one life. Yeah, so sit with me. On this video, we will be talking about meeting my husband. Yeah, my husband. So I'm sure most of you have heard me talk about my family. I've got 2 children, 2 boys. So of course they have a daddy. So we have to talk about daddy. Living with sickle cell, as I mentioned in my previous video, and daddy will be coming at some point, during one of the videos. So in my previous video, I talked about, relationships and sickle cell disease. And as most of you might know, living with sickle cell and having a relationship is a bit of a challenge. It's a whole different ball game. It can be quite lonely in that department, because most people don't understand, the challenges that comes with it, before they embark on a relationship. So yeah, I have had my fair share of it. So while I was in London, I met this young, fine gentleman, and, he was interested in me, and I thought, okay, I like you too. You like me, I like you. But, shall I tell him, shall I not? Oh, of course, always. So I have been through my roller coaster with relationships, and this was not going to be any different. I said to myself, I am just going to save myself the heartache and not go through that emotional ball game again. So after we'd gone out for a couple of meals and, got to know each other a bit, I decided that it was time to tell him, because he was getting quite serious. He wanted us to hang out quite a lot, and, he did like me and I liked him too. So I thought I should tell him, and I did. Of course I did, I said to him, I've got sickle cell disease, and I can see that you really like me, but this is something that I need you to know before we go any further. I don't know where this thing is going, but I just thought you should know, because we might be sitting here and, everything just changes, and I might just be a different person. So I just want to put you on alert. And he was like, what? Yeah. So yeah, I did that. And of course I was expecting him to just check out like most of the other people did, but strangely enough, he wanted to know more. So I did tell him a bit about a sickle cell disease and, what it's all about. He knew a tiny bit about it, but not in great detail. And I said to him that, I would like you to just go and do your own research, and just understand what it is all about, and then come back and we have a chat. And he did. And, I was quite pleased that he did that. He came back with quite an extensive bit of research on sickle cell, some of the things that I didn't even know, honestly. And yeah, we took it from there. And, amongst all my relationships that I have had, I was quite intrigued. I was quite surprised at his enthusiasm to learn and know more. And I kept saying to him, not that I was trying to push him off, but I was just trying to prepare him for the worst case scenario. So you see, when I get into a crisis, you might not recognize me, you see, and I just want you to know that. And it's okay, it's okay to feel however you feel, and I will understand, so yeah. And he came back really, really, interested. I was quite pleased with that, and we got to know each other a bit more. I had a couple of crises, and, I had to educate him on what to do and things like that. And he became the expert in it, he became the expert. So we moved in together and decided to live our lives together. But before we did that, I did encourage him to go and do a genotype test, because this thing was going somewhere and we had to be prepared, you see. That is something that I always tell my warriors, not just warriors, everyone who is of the Afro-Caribbean heritage. Check your genotype, know your sickle cell status, so that, you have to know when you meet someone, you know what will happen to your offsprings and things like that. Yeah, so, I mean, he did a genotype and it came back, he was AS. So that was another conversation that we needed to have. So, of course, if you don't know, so because I have 2 sickle cell genes and he is AS, that means we will have 3 sickle cell genes. So that is a lot of chances to have a child with sickle cell. So we had that discussion. And just to sidetrack a little bit here, it's absolutely okay, to feel strange, to feel funny. And at this point in time, a lot of people, and some people have come across, my sort of situation before, thinking that they have to break up, or they really like this person so much, and they're not sure if this thing is going to carry on because he is AS and I have sickle cell. But let me tell you, you do not have to break up, because there is always an answer. Well, depending on where you are and, what part of the world you are. I'm saying this based on me staying in the UK, and I'm sure in the Western world, there is solutions for people living with sickle cell and having partners that carry the gene. So we did a bit of research and, noticed that there was help for people like ourselves. So, we met genetic counselors, and obviously we got married. And after about 5 years, we decided, 5 or 6 years, I think it was, it was time to start, thinking about, start making children, so we were ready at that point in time. But, what they say, God's time is the best. And unfortunately, it wasn't happening. And at this point in time, I was quite worried. I just remembered all the things that I had been told, or I had heard growing up. Some of the challenges with sickle cell and having children. Well, I don't know, myths, challenges, you name it. And I thought, okay, this is it then. So I might just not be able to have a child. But I was hopeful. So we saw the doctor, and we were referred to genetic counseling, and they talk to us about all the risk involved, and what to do, to be able to have children that don't have a sickle cell. And this is something that I strongly and highly recommend, for couples of African and Caribbean heritage. If you think that one of you or carry the S gene, or both of you carry the S gene, of course, if you do have AS, and you meet someone that has AA, you will just have an offspring that has AS, which is just a trait. So that shouldn't be a problem. But if you think that you have more S gene in your relationship, I would highly recommend you speaking to a genetic counselor. So they will tell you more, so you can make an informed decision on how to take your relationship further or forward. So it was quite a moment for us at this point in time. It was quite challenging, I tell you, in its own way. So we were hopeful, at this point in time. We were told about a treatment that is available for people like ourselves. So this is called PGD, so pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. Yeah. PGD, pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. So this procedure is available for people that have a higher chance of passing a genetic condition to an offspring. So this is so that you can avoid passing, for example, sickle cell to your children. And this is something that a lot of people don't know. In the UK, I'm based in the UK, so I'm just giving that example. A lot of people don't know that this is it's a kind of IVF, but they do it in a different way, where we'll talk more about it in great detail, where they remove the sickle cell X, and all the other procedures. I would tell you more about it. So I would highly recommend, if you are in a situation like myself, to get to speak to your GP. Most of the time, some of the GPs don't know. So I had to bring a lot of research work to my doctor for them to be able to refer me. And at that point in time, when we were having the treatment, it was only done in London. So there was a lot of traveling. I had already moved, to Warsaw, West Midlands. So we were doing quite a bit of traveling. So I will be telling you about this in great detail. It was a roller coaster. How I survived that, I have no idea. It was quite a challenge. It was quite a challenge. So my next video, I will be talking about the whole procedure, what we went through, the whole process of going through PGD, and if it worked or not, what it involved and all that. So yeah, it's quite interesting. It's a whole roller coaster. It was, I tell you. How I survived that, I have absolutely no idea, but I tell you, it was God. So I will be talking more in my next video. So thank you for watching. That was something. So please subscribe and like and share, and comment and tell me if you have had a similar experience, if you've met someone that you think you might be interested in, and you think it might be going somewhere, how you met your partner, and how they took it when you told them for the first time. Let's have a chat. Thank you for watching.